Hey all, how y'all doing? Today we're going to be talking about Cinema and Sorcery, which is a very interesting book from Green Ronin Press. I'm going to tell you right up front, this is not a game book per se. This has nothing to do with any of their lines. This has to be a labor of love because the amount of work that went into this is absolutely phenomenal. What Cinema and Sorcery is, it breaks down classic fantasy sword and sorcery movies, sort of deconstructs them a little bit, and then puts them back together and how you can use pieces of it in your game. The list in here is extremely comprehensive. The ones they hit start all the way back to the Thief of Baghdad and run all the way up to the first Hobbit movie. Obviously, they can't hit every one, but if they did not hit yours, there's a section in the back which is the Concordance, which has a lot of them. And I have my favorite sword and sorcery movie that I've only seen twice in my life. After I saw it the first time, I didn't see it again for nearly 15, 20 years, and I thought I dreamed it. And then it came on the college TV channel when I was in college, and I was like, holy crap, it's real. It's called Archer, Fugitive from Empire, and it lit my imagination as a kid. And a couple years ago, I found segments of it on YouTube and I sat there watching it, and I'm like, oh my God, this is bad, but it's so awesome. So they break down the movies for you. Now there's a lot in here. I can't go through the entire table of contents. What we're going to do is we're going to put up a graphic to scroll through while I talk through some of this stuff so you can get a feel for what is in there. But they don't hit everything because they really can't, but they hit most of the major points. Everything, now there are some personal favorites in here of mine. Highlander is in here, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. For some reason, Monty Python and the Holy Grail shows up. Hercules, Red Sonja, Star Wars is in there. All the way up to How to Train Your Dragon, Solomon Kane, Your Highness, the Narnia movies, and like I said, ending at The Hobbit. I'm going to pick one of these to talk about. And that one I'm going to talk about is the classic stinker, The Sword and the Sorcerer. Now, folks, I'll be right up front. This was made in 1982. This was not a good movie. But I remember pieces of it from my childhood very distinctly. So they open up with the complete cast, the crew, screenplay director, everything like that. It tells you where it is on the map. If it takes place on Earth, it gives you locations. Otherwise, it tells you, the book tells you roughly where things are on the planet. The story so far, the backstory, any alternate versions that exist, that if there were director cuts or other things that have shown up over the years, how magic works in the setting, if any. How it fits into the grand theme of literature and storytelling. For example, this is a tale of kind of reluctant revenge. Gives you some of the ideas of the monsters, the special effects that went into it, the actors and kind of what they've done before. Just continuing on with that sort of thing. And then there's a section called Shattering the Illusion, which is the backstory behind making it. Music of the Minstrels, who did the soundtrack. And then it goes into the most famous artifact from this movie, the tri-bladed sword. Oh God, this is terrible. Because it's this sorcerer this warrior who runs around swinging this tri-bladed sword, which has to be the least convenient weapon I can imagine, but then it can also shoot a blade. And again, when I was a kid, it was utterly awesome. As a grown-up, you watch it and you're like, oh my God, it's just on a pendulum string. So it curves when it fires. Still, though, it hits the nostalgia button pretty hard. So it also tells you what impact the film had in the future, and finally, what was going on that year in gaming. This can very easily be deconstructed and applied to any one of the role-playing games that you like to play and use. If your favorite movie is not in this, check the concordance in the back, because chances are very high that you're going to find it there. All right, this is a short review. So right now I'm going to put a plug in from Monster Model Review and our producer, Rob, The Nemesis Project, which is a kaiju thriller by Jeremy Robinson. So that's going to get tacked into the end here. So go ahead, enjoy that, and have fun gaming, folks.
This episode of Monster Model Review, for the first time ever, I review fiction. The first couple of books from the Nemisis Saga series written by Jeremy Robinson. The books are titled Project Nemesis and Project Mygo. If you know me, you know I tend to read a lot of manuals, comics, and non-fiction books. So when I asked one of my favorite kaiju groups on Facebook about reading kaiju fiction, I was immediately pointed to Jeremy Robinson's work and was not disappointed. The main characters in the series are John Hudson from the Department of Homeland Security's Fusion Center P, Sheriff Ashley Collins, Chopper Pilot Woodstock, Tech Wizard Ted Watson, and Administrator Ann Cooper. They head a department that is usually quiet, but with the discovery of Katsu Indu and General Lance Gordon, their whole world changes. In the first book, Project Nemesis, we are introduced to our star kaiju of the series, Nemesis. In the second book, Project Mygo, the number of giants grow, along with the mayhem. These books are page-turners. The action starts and never lets up. The main characters are fun and exciting, with different personalities and agendas working together to make the world safe from corrupt businesses, the military, human and giant-sized creatures trying to destroy the city and the world. From the violent origins of our gigantic star Nemesis, to the people learning who it is and what motivates her, to the people who would like to control her, these stories are a roller coaster ride of action, adventures, heroes, and villains. If you like giant monsters and a fun, fast read, these books are a must for you. Project Nemesis has recently been adapted to comic books. At the time of this review, issue 2 has come out and is an excellent translation of the books. A lot of the art you've seen in this review come from that comic series. It's drawn by monster designer and Godzilla artist Matt Frank, and also in the pipelines is the prequel book, Island 731. You can find out more on Project Nemesis and Project Mygo, along with their sequels, Project 731 and Project Hyperion, as well as the prequel, Island 731, over on Jeremy's website, bewareofmonsters.com. For more reviews, artist profiles, and how-tos, check out Monster Model Review and find us on Facebook. I've been your host, Rob Mattison, and thanks for watching.